planet rock.
I guess it's flattering, but it seems to take away kind of from what we do. I don't think we have any problem with it. It just kind of sucks.
There's a lot of bands that kind of relate to us, I guess, but, you know, we kind of started the sound, but what are you going to do? It's music, you know? It's flattering. There's a lot of good bands out there that people say sound like Korn, and they're, you know, so it's cool.
We're already at the... I think nu metal artistically is in its death throes. Commercially it's not. They're still signing those bands, they're still shifting units. But we're at the third generation of those bands. The bands who are appearing now are the Tricksters and the Warrants of nu metal. You know, they're cookie cutter, they are Korn by numbers. Frankly, some of the music that's appearing is pitiful. And artistically, the thing's over. Commercially, it'll run on fumes for some time.
But I just don't like the idea of getting flooded, all these bands coming out that don't have their own identities. That kind of sucks.
Despite an uncompromising sound, the Bakersfield Metal Men had become a major musical force to be reckoned with, and a big influence on a whole host of burgeoning new heavy metal bands. In early 1998, while recording songs for their new album, Korn raised eyebrows when they inked a six-figure deal with sports shoemaker Puma, who offered them something in the region of $500,000 to change their visual attire. This tempting enticement prompted the band to sever its long-standing loyalty to sports manufacturers Adidas. Around this time, Korn also garnered massive headline publicity when an 18-year-old student in the conservative backwater of Zeeland, West Michigan, was suspended from his local high school for wearing a T-shirt emblazoned with the group's striking logo. Although the shirt bore no particular obscenities, the school's assistant principal justified the action by declaring Korn's music indecent and vulgar and their lyrics obscene. Korn responded by quickly issuing a cease and desist order against the school, demanding that it stopped what the band saw as defamatory comments about the band and infringing on their civil liberties. They also rallied behind the student by giving away free Korn T-shirts outside the school, and in a written statement released asked, where does an assistant principal get the right to preach her own morals and actually suspend a student? Taking a cue from stomping politicians everywhere, the band then launched a different kind of politically styled promotional campaign, providing them with yet another opportunity to laugh in the face of the good old American dream. The Korn Campaign '98 was to be a whirlwind over-the-top publicity tour for their highly anticipated third album.
That's why we did the whole Korn campaign, because we were coming out with the third record and we were getting all this big press. And the whole record was built up to be so big, so we were kind of worried that the kids that were there from the beginning would think that we're different or we changed or not the same band or whatever. So we wanted to do the whole campaign to go around and talk to the kids so they kind of got the vibe that we're still down for them and we're here for the kids. We weren't changing.
Some of them are old, they're not kids anymore.
Oh, yeah, some of them are
Oh,
old.
good. Fans hung out, stuck with the corn dogs.
This saw the band staging grandiose stunts featuring high school bands reworking such Korn songs as All Day I Dream About Sex, all set to a Stars and Stripes backdrop of marching bands, cheerleaders and guest celebrities.
I remember they came down in a stretched out Hummer, white Hummer. They made their way through the crowd. People were waiting for hours. I personally waited about 3 or 4 hours before Korn got there, and on top of that I waited about 3 more hours just to see them. But when they did roll up, they had a very nice entourage of bagpipe players leading their Hummer. Also behind the Hummer, they made a very noticeable entrance. But yet in the same way, they did make a rock star entrance. But in the same way, they took the time to shake people's in the crowd's hands. They still waved. They still noticed that these are what the people that made them what they are. I mean, not only doing the in-store appearance and getting to see other fans' faces, interact with them, I mean, it wasn't a performance, but it was still a chance for the people to actually meet with Korn. It was actually a chance to actually see the person who the music you're listening to, actually get to see who they are.
This saw the band taking to the skies in their own private jet across America and touching down in 14 cities, where they turned up at record stores to perform an amped-up version of an in-stores tour and greet their fans.
That was that's the only time I think all of us here
It ever felt like
really
a real
felt like
job.
I felt when I woke up, they're all, get up. I was like, I'm gonna quit my job. But the only thing that kept us going is how loyal our fans are, and we're gonna be loyal to them. So we would just get up and do it.
It was hard.
The next day.
60,000 kids in 2 weeks. We met.
It was hard.
A lot of this, a lot of this, a lot of this. Nights of like 5 hours of sleep and have to do it all over again. That was what was hard, not getting enough rest. I think that was the hardest part.
We pulled it off though.
I mean, I seen them signing guys' guitars. I mean, guys' guitars that Korn was their idols, and now they got the signature. I mean, they're just, you know, the girls crying. Girls crying. They couldn't contain themselves. They were so happy. I mean, hey, that's not a bad thing. It's a good thing, you know. And that's a good thing that Korn actually took the time to actually go down there and actually give something back to the fans. You know, let them know they actually care.
In addition to the new record and the formation of their own record company, Elementary Records, which they'd set up at the tail end of 1997, Korn put together its own Family Values tour, where they showcase some of the heaviest acts of the day, in addition to a throng of breakdancers, fire eaters, and a myriad of other cultural oddities. The critically acclaimed tour saw the band hooking up with like-minded acts, including rap rock buddies Limp Bizkit, Orgy, and Ice Cube.
Manager kind of came up with the whole idea, but we kind of came up with the whole stage production idea.
Us and our managers just got together. We've been talking about this for like, what, 2 years?
We wanted to make something like this happen, and we couldn't really come up with like a name or anything, and they came up with the Family Values thing.
But we wanted to have it like a festival feel to it, a non-stop
indoor
festival.
rock concert, bringing it back to the old school.
Where everyone has lights, sound, air conditioning. We've got a revolving stage.
Quote, AC
is good.
Tongue-in-cheek Korn even sent a telegram to former US Vice President Dan Quayle, inviting him to come and check out the tour.
Dan Quayle was Vice President of the United States of America, and he was trying to instill the family values, and he talked about some TV show that had no family values to it. But it was literally, I mean, a rated G TV show, and it was a non-offensive show, so Korn said, well, let's call our tour the Family Values Tour. And of course, there's not a lot of values that are family-oriented at the Family Values Tour.
By the time it had wound up its 27 dates, the Family Values trek had grossed more than $6.4 million in ticket sales.
With the state of the record industry, touring has become more important than ever, which is not what people foresaw, but you know, obviously touring and touring merchandise is where it's at, so these tours are becoming huge. And if you're a global phenomena, obviously everything's multiplied many times. And the scale of these things is so huge that by the time you finish one, it's time to start the next one. So they are going out for extended periods, and as you say quite correctly, with a band like them, you can't just kind of stand there and go through the motions. You know, they're not, you know, Frank Sinatra's backing band. They really have to lay it out, and those fans, wherever they are in the world, have paid their money and they've waited for months to see this band, you know, and they want to go nuts. And the band are coming from the opposite perspective, you know, they played these songs, you know, 300 times in the last year. They're already working on new songs which they're much more excited about because they're creative people.
Never shying away from the less travelled road, the guys in Korn were now producing their own TV specials to be aired on the official Korn website as after-school special online broadcasts. Korn were by now net junkies, having already taken to the World Wide Web for their historic online debut in 1996, followed up by a live cybercast of their set from London's Brixton Academy. Dubbed Korn TV, this landmark internet undertaking gave fans and curious users a weekly peek at their progress inside NRG Studios through a DIY talk show with a distinctively Korn flavour. The series allowed fans a live glimpse into the studio via streaming audio and video as they hammered out their latest sonic chapter in hard rock history. By the time of the release of their third opus, Follow the Leader, in August 1998, all the hubbub had many fans